Hey everyone, this is going to be, well, in the end it's going to be a very complex video, but the first 5 minutes, or maybe 10 minutes, I'm going to give an overview of everything else that I'm going to talk about later. Just that way you can figure out whether you actually want to watch the rest of the video at the beginning, because maybe this video isn't for everybody. That's according to feedback I've received from everyone who's watched other videos, and so that's thanks to you. So I'm going to give myself maybe 5 or 10 minutes to go over what I'm going to be doing in the rest of this video. So this is this table in front of me is covered with all different aspects of what I consider game theory, in inverted commas, in the sense of, is it real, is it not real? Well, there's lots of games out there. This is a different kind of game. It's not really a game, it's about reality. And the work I've done in relation to understanding reality, that's what all of this is, in the sense of understanding on the greater reality we live in, many different aspects, which can be seen as game boards if you're thinking about it from that point of view. From an artistic point of view, they could be holographic templates, bits of art, but these bits of art then have another purpose. So they have a purpose as a bit of art, but they also have another purpose. I also will be talking about this here, which is a dice tower. I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to explain how I built it, because it's I took it round to a friend upside down, got a bit wonky, so I'm going to have to take it apart and fix it. So I'm going to explain about this dice tower. I'm going to explain about these different boards. I'm going to explain the different cards, different card systems, and how that relates to my books, my work, why that all connects together, and I'll probably go on from that in relation to how everything is connected anyway, which we should all pretty much be aware of now. But if we're not, everything's connected. And this is my co-host, Nuts the Squirrel. And Nuts the Squirrel always has a question to ask. So maybe Nuts the Squirrel will ask questions I can't think of, because there's always questions to be asked. So that pretty much covers it. Yeah, that's barely even a few minutes. So usually people tune out after a few minutes, or maybe they don't even get to a few minutes, as I've watched the, data and analytics, statistics, etc. of various videos in overall, videos over a whole year, etc. So I don't want to bore you, because I'm not here to bore anybody. It's not my purpose. My purpose is to explain everything in more detail and how it's related to each other, to then hopefully be able to produce something which has been in the works for a very long time, that actually satisfies some sort of purpose and practical use. So that'll be another part of the video, is why I'm doing all of this. If you're interested, you don't have to be interested, because I'm already interested in myself. I'm sharing this with you with the hope that you might be interested. However, here I am in front of everything. I'm here by myself. That's me here. I'm happy to get on with this just myself, without you, because I find it that interesting and fascinating. I'll happily, take a step back from society, because I think this is more interesting than society actually. That's where I'm coming from. So you can take part in that if you wish to, freely, but you don't have to. So that's probably the first maybe 5 or 10 minutes, I'm not entirely sure, I can't really see in this light. And really, what time is it? Exactly, what time is it? If you've tuned out already, well, then that's you, you've tuned out, you won't get to see the rest of it. If you're still here, great, hopefully I'll explain lots of different things. Let's see what happens. Is it today? What day is it today? Well, according to one of the systems I work with, it's, what is it? Yellow, self-existing, human. But what year is it? Maybe we don't know. How do you know when I'm making this video? Maybe I made this video a long time ago, but didn't release it till now. I'm a bit of a time traveller. Maybe I've gone back in time to make this video, and then I've taken the video forwards in time to then share it with you. Are you sure today is today? Maybe you're watching this today, but I made it on a previous day, or a future day even. Who really knows anymore? It's a camera. Because this is a camera I'm talking to, cameras can be, messed around with. Maybe this tower doesn't actually really exist. It's just a projection. And I've got some fancy computer wizardry projecting it inside the video while I'm making the video to cast an illusion. Or it is actually a tower and it's just made out of cardboard from a bit of packaging. And cost absolutely nothing really to produce. Made out of recycled materials. I think you can actually find dice towers online, and they can be 100 quid if they're painted. And I felt the idea of the dice tower would bring in a level of mathematical randomness, because you have the randomness of just rolling a dice, which is a mathematical function, but you're still rolling the dice yourself. So maybe you're an expert dice roller, and if you roll it in a certain way with a certain number pointing upwards, there's more chances you might get a particular number. So this takes that out of the game. And it's all purely, conceptual. We are very much at the beginning stage here. This is foundations of something which will be produced in the future as an actual packaged set with all different packs of cards, dice, and all the usual stuff you get in a game. And there's all kinds of new games out there. I'm not actually trying to compete here. I'm just very interested in what I've discovered. I'd like to make it into something which can be playable. Is that the right term? Interactive. Interactive. Some of the boards are reactive to UV, so maybe in certain environments in the game it would change. There's lots of different things you can do to make things exciting. Who knows? Other advice I've been given is maybe some of my work would be better for children. So, yes, in a lot of ways, a lot of the work I do could be helpful to children, perhaps. That's again something up to my viewers and whoever's into my work. Feedback, that's what I've been told. I could take that different ways. It's fascinating. Are we all children then? Well, we certainly are when we start out. Everybody starts off as a child. I think as well this sort of layout in front of me reminds me of being a child playing a game. So again, it's about getting out of a particular brainwave that we're usually in, because we have different brainwaves for different activities, and that's definitely science. That's something which has explained this, as in given it graphs and tables and explained it with words, with references. But it's something you could understand without science, just through actually experiencing different kind of experiences in your life. and it would be something you experience for yourself. So that's a bit of philosophy as well, a bit of philosophy. Right, that's definitely 10 minutes. So that's, I'll give myself a sip of coffee. For making it through 10 minutes. Go on then, off you go. It's been 10 minutes, usually don't watch more than 10 minutes. Let's see, what could I share next? It's a very rudimentary board. It hasn't been fully coloured in. This is just the background matrix. Again, this is just on a bit of cardboard. And it's all very theoretical. But this board is the Holographic Matrix board. And when you play this board, you're basically in another dimension. So you're not actually in manifest reality, you're in level beyond that. I think a lot of times that's referred to as like the afterlife or the pre-life, something like this. Holographic Matrix, so that's before and after. And you get to play this in the game. So the different characters in the game, we've got these little rudimentary shaped objects here, which are little mushrooms, mushroom characters. That's a red one, and this is a green one. So they're painted different colours, and maybe, you know, different coloured mushrooms have a different, you know, function in the game. Maybe they have better skills at certain things in the game. So, you know, your mushroom starts off on this holographic board, and then what happens on holographic board then determines where you go next in the game. Right. So that's how it started off. And this holographic board is a cross section of another painting, which when you look at it as a mandala form. Whereas this is like a cross section of that mandala, so traversing through the mandala as a cross section. But this is basically, this is before your mushroom incarnates, and then over on this board is then your mushroom's incarnated. Now if during the game your mushroom dies or something, then it goes back to the holographic matrix. And then in the holographic matrix, you know, there's an actual gameplay in the holographic matrix, certain cards, etc. And then, you know, you have to achieve certain things there, go through a Stargate, back to incarnation on the actual world map. And in this game, the world's actually called Unsania. Unsania is actually upside down. So it's basically the world map upside down. But all the different continents have been separated, and they're like little islands all floating off in different places. And they're basically different continents where your mushroom can then go and explore and find out, yeah, exciting new bits of information, helps it to essentially win the game. But what kind of game is it? Well, another name for this game is Arcturian chess. So, if you're familiar with chess, then you may have an idea, but maybe you're not familiar with Arcturians, in which case that might make you think, not sure about that. Nuts a Squirrel would like to know, what are Arcturians? It's a very good question. So Arcturians, I feel, are beings which I feel have, on some level of resonance, I feel I've been working with Arcturians on some level of consciousness and resonance, with what's termed here on Earth as maths. There is some references to talk about people talking to mushroom beings from Arcturus. So the mushrooms could then also be a mushroom connection there with the Arcturians. However, in my connection with what I call Arcturian energy, which is an arc, you know, like an arc of a circle with different angles and calculations. So Arcturian. That's where I feel, you know, on a different level of reality again, going back to the Holographic Matrix, that what we're talking about here is a game related to the galaxy. Yeah, that's right. So in this game, and there's all different cards in this game, on the different boards. Oh, it's a very exciting game, you see. Well, it hasn't been released yet. No, it's not been released yet. Maybe it's not meant to be released yet. Who knows? Maybe it won't be released for another 100 years. You know? Maybe it's not meant to even occur in my own lifetime. I'm just here to kind of, you know, do a bit of groundwork, and someone else will come along later who, you know, takes to it like a duck to water, and off we go. All you can do is your best. So I'm going to pick a random card here from over this side and see what happens. I wasn't going to do that, but I've decided that's why I'm going to do that. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So this card here, I just picked this randomly from the middle of the deck. You can see that it's called Birkeland Currents. Have you heard of Birkeland Currents before? Well, they're definitely fascinating. Do I know what Birkeland Currents are? Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Could I remember right now what Birkeland Currents are? Birkeland Currents. Right. I think they have something to do with the Earth's electromagnetic fields. But they're currents. So they must go from somewhere to somewhere else. So where do they connect? Do they connect with the poles of the planet? Do they connect between different poles of different planets? Or maybe different poles of the planet and the sun? Maybe I'm getting too far out there. Maybe they're just connected with the Earth. Maybe I don't know the answer to the question, because there's that much material to go over. It's kind of hard to remember everything off the cuff. That's why we've invented things called books. Some people have far better memories, yeah? Well, that's the point of the game. We're talking about incredibly complex subjects on multiple dimensions and trying to figure out, what we're trying to figure out? The truth. What's actually really going on. Yeah, with all the most up-to-date data from around the world based off of the most latest science, with the most grounding into the actual reality of the Earth. Well, if the future of the Earth's at stake, better get the truth right then. Because if we don't, what's going to happen? Do you want to just leave it up to chance to figure out what's going to happen and just keep, you know, playing a game with reality? Whoever... Well, you know, you never know who's tuning in. Maybe there's somebody tuning in and they're, you know, doing some sort of background research on me. Trying to poke a hole in what I'm doing. Who knows who watches stuff anymore? Could be anybody. Yeah, what's your intention for watching this video? You'd like to know more. That's what the basic intention of what most people have for watching anything. And my intention is to share information, and that's pretty much what anybody in front of a camera can do, from a, you know, informational or what's called educational level. That's it. That's basically you know, I could add screens. I could put projector screens, have different data everywhere, references. You know, have it all like different shelves of books to reference each bit of information, connect that to different scientific papers. People have already done this. There's still that much information to deal with. From my understanding, and again, this is what I've received from the Arcturians, that because there is so much information, there's so many experts from different fields, and some of them correlate and some of them don't, and some of them have different political views and some of them don't, and some of them have different agendas and some of them don't, and some of them, well, I'm just interested in finding out the truth. I've made mistakes along the way, but through making mistakes I've learnt more, and that's basically life. I still would prefer to talk about it more and discuss it more and actually play it as a game. So you're like interacting with it as a game, where each thing has an intrinsic value and power. You know, I could have picked a different card. You know, maybe I would have got the supernova. Wow, if I picked a supernova, that would be the end of the game. I'd have to turn off the video. Well, that's what happens. If there's a supernova, that's the whole game over. Well, luckily we didn't pick supernova, we picked Birkeland currents. So again, maybe I haven't got the specifics right of exactly how far they extend, but they're currents of some form of electrical or power or exchange of positive and negative flowing in the universe. Which then gets us into the topic of an electric universe, which is something which is quite fascinating. By no means am I an expert in it, but I find it very interesting, along with so many different things. Again, that's another purpose of this game, you know? Have specific cards with key information on them, how you play them in the game once you collect them as your mushroom, and how that knowledge then can be used on the Earth plane in all different ways. Well, this is the whole point of this whole theory of the game. What would you be allowed to do in the game? Because usually games are competitive. You know, there's new games out now which are called cooperative games, but generally speaking games are competitive, like traditional chess is one side against the other. Because in Arcturian chess, the point is to work together as a team, figure out the truth of reality so everybody can be free, or freer than before. It's an interesting concept. Not sure if everybody understands that one. That's not up to me though, is it? So Arcturian chess is a win-win scenario. But who knows? Maybe there's a few, infected mushrooms in the game. Maybe you get some card in it you pick up and that means your mushroom's been infected and you have to play differently in the game. Adds a bit of flavour to the game, you know.